Hello and welcome to this vlog post. A couple of disclaimers before we start out. My voice is going, so apologies in advance. And this vlog will feature some fairly dubious accents. So if you're offended by people attempting to do a sort of generic Romanian-ish vampire voice and German accent, I suggest you stop listening. But it comes from a place of love and a knowledge that there is not very much authenticity in the voices that I will be portraying, apart from my own authenticity, of course. So today I'm very happy to bring to you the latest in a fabulous series written by a fabulous writer and all-round fabulous person, Rhiannon Frater. This is her Vampire Bride Dark Rebirth series. And, oh, sorry, other disclaimer, I'm constantly out of breath now. So if I sound like I've just been smoking 50 cigarettes a day for the last 3 months, it's not, it's this creature that I've got growing inside me. So another disclaimer. So I have narrated books 2 and 3 in Ms. Frater's Vampire Bride Dark Rebirth series, and books 2 and 3 and 1 indeed, but not narrated by me, focus on Lady Glynis Wright. Book 4 is my favourite so far, and its focus is on Urshabet. So much different characters and a much different way of writing as well. A much different writing style in this book. For me, I love it. And I love it even more than the first 2 books that I've narrated for Miss Frater. Oh, pause and take a breath. So let me read to you the back of The Impaled Bride, book 4 in the Vampire Bride Dark Rebirth series. My name is Urshabet, Countess Dollingen of Graz, and I am a vampire. I am also Vlad Dracula's one true love. For centuries we shared a love that consumed us whole, but betrayal can turn the greatest of passions bitter in the hearts of lovers. In anger he impaled me on an iron stake and left me to suffer in a mausoleum hidden from the world. Now my mind wanders through the centuries, recalling the triumphs and defeats of my long life. But what my beloved doesn't know is that I am not yet defeated. Something that I want to mention is that books 1, 2 and 3 should definitely be read in sequence. I feel like book 4 you can just jump right on in there. It might have some spoilers for the first 3 books, but from book 4, I don't know for how many books, but certainly from book 4 it sort of starts a new storyline. So let me read to you. Let me attempt to read to you the first few pages of chapter 1. And yes, if you have listened to or read the first 3 books in the series, I think you'll notice immediately a difference in style in book 4. Chapter 1. I can hear her scampering about like a rat as her delicate fingers scrabble at the stone walls of the sepulchre. Her piteous cries and wails are a discordant melody that I find both amusing and infuriating. This is her nightly ritual ever since she was imprisoned here. Enough! I shout at her. This only elicits more pathetic sobbing. From where I lay upon my stone platform, I only catch glimpses of her as she scuttles about in the dim light cast by the oil lamps hanging on the walls. I wrap my fingers around the iron rod piercing my body. Vlad plunged the wretched stake through the roof of the mausoleum, pinning me to the bier so I cannot escape him. I attempt to pull myself upward so I can crane my neck to gaze upon my husband's latest vampire bride. But, alas, I am too weak for such a feat. My hand slackens around the stake and slumps against the underside of my breast, close to where I am impaled. The silver coating sizzles against my flesh, sapping my strength and keeping me trapped in this cursed place, hidden by the darkest magics. Sorry, I've got hay fever and it keeps making my voice go. If I could, I would press the silver against my heart and end my suffering, but my beloved was wise enough to cast a spell upon me to hinder any attempt. He is so very clever in his torment. Scuttling up the stairs to the iron door, she attempts to break the lock while calling out for help. The words she speaks in German are muddled by a voice hoarse from screaming. When she fails, she bangs her small fists against the unyielding door until she grows discouraged. Afterward, she dashes about the small room, fingers gliding over the stones as she seeks an escape from this terrible place. I lash out and catch the edge of her gown. She shrieks and scrambles up the wall to hide in the corner like an insect. Tilting my head back, I can see her staring down at me. "What is your name?" I ask in German. With eyes green as jade, she stares at me in horror. Tangles of her golden tresses fall over her shoulders. The gossamer gown adorning her delicate frame is tattered about the edges from her constant tantrums. Her pale hands and feet cling to the stone wall, jewels glittering on the gold bangles and rings she wears. I recognize a few of the finer pieces. They once belonged to me. My husband is generous with his new brides. "Whatever did you do to anger him?" I cannot help but add a taunting lilt to my voice. She is delectable with her petite frame and angelic face. Exactly the sort of young woman my dear husband loves to corrupt. "I did nothing," she spits out. "That is a possibility. He is a devil." "That he is," I agree. "You are a devil too. Cursed! How can you be alive when impaled with a stake? Oh, my darling little one, you are as cursed as I. And if I should be a devil, so are you. Look at you, hanging there on the wall like a spider." She screams at me, long teeth revealed. My laughter mocks her. "Little one, I have faced much fiercer enemies than you. Our shared husband, for example. I am not his wife. Never!" Huddling in the corner, she weeps. "He lied to me. He promised me a life of wealth and comfort." "Of course he lied. All men do, you simpleton." I tire of craning my neck to gaze at her, and return to staring at the ceiling of the mausoleum. The spots of rust where the iron pole pierces the stone roof are gradually spreading into a dark mosaic. Sometimes, in my delirium, I see the stains transform into images of friends and family. Even now I can almost see the strong nose of my vampire brother, Ignatius, taking shape in one dark splotch. I'm going to stop reading there. That was the beginning of Rhiannon Frater's The Impaled Bride, book 4 in her Vampire Bride Dark Rebirth series. I do have some freebies for codes, codes for freebies for this book, so give me a shout if you're interested in having a listen. I may have a couple available actually for books 2 and 3 in this series, so if you haven't listened to those yet and you want to, just let me know. I think that's it for me for the day, so thank you for listening. I am Rebecca McKernan. You can find me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at Becca Tells Tales and at www.rebeccamckernan.com. Have a great day. Mwah.